The idea arrives and it feels like electricity. You convince yourself that this time is different, that this time you actually mean it. You tell yourself, and maybe you even tell someone else. You buy the notebook, you download the app, and you make the plan. And for a little while, it works. The first few days have a momentum to them. You feel a sense of self that reflects the version of you you've always wanted to be. And then something happens. It doesn't have to be catastrophic. It can be small. A bad day, a moment of doubt, or a single obstacle that wasn't in the plan. And before you even make a conscious decision, you're gone. The notebook goes in the drawer, the app gets deleted, and the plan becomes something you were going to do. But the worst part isn't the quitting. The worst part is that you're not even surprised. Because somewhere deep down, a voice you've been carrying for a long time already knew this was coming. That voice doesn't say much, but what it says with total certainty. This is just what you do. This video is about that voice, where it came from, what it actually is, and why it is not the truth about you, even though it has been the story of you for longer than you'd like to admit. Here is what people get wrong about giving up. They think it's a character flaw, a weakness gene. They believe there is something broken in the wiring of people who can't seem to follow through. The self-help industry has made billions off that exact assumption. It sells you discipline programs, morning routines, and 5-step systems because it needs you to believe that the problem is a missing habit. But most people who give up are not undisciplined. They are exhausted. And there is a very specific kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from working too hard. It comes from bracing. It comes from spending so much energy preparing for the moment things fall apart that you have nothing left when things are actually going well. You know the feeling. The project is going okay, and instead of feeling good about that, you feel suspicious. You ask yourself, when is this going to stop working? When am I going to ruin this? That's not laziness. That is a nervous system that has learned to treat hope as a threat. Despair is not born, it is built. Brick by brick, disappointment by disappointment. It is assembled so slowly that by the time it is finished, it looks like a personality trait. It looks like just the way I am. But it began somewhere. Maybe it began the first time you worked for something and it didn't work out. And instead of someone saying, "That's how it goes, try again," they said nothing. Or worse, they said something that made the failure mean something about who you are. Maybe it began the first time you asked for something and were told no in a way that felt like you were wrong for wanting it. Or maybe it began the first time you were visibly, loudly excited, and someone in the room made you feel embarrassed for caring that much.
Did you have an awesome time? Did you drink awesome shooters and listen to awesome music and then just sit around and soak up each other's awesomeness?
This is the installation. Not a single event, but a pattern. A repeated message delivered in different packages. Wanting things leads to losing things. Trying leads to failing. Hoping leads to hurting. And the mind, which is brilliant, which is always trying to protect you, learns the lesson perfectly. It says, if I stop wanting, I stop losing. If I never really try, I never really fail. If I give up first, the world can't take anything from me. It feels like protection, and it is for a while, until you realize that the thing you are protecting yourself from is your own life. This is high-functioning retreat, and it is so quiet, so well-dressed, and so reasonable sounding that most people around you never see it happening. They just see someone who is going through something, who is figuring things out, who will get there eventually. What they don't see is the toll. Every time you retreat, the voice gets louder. Every time you retreat, the next starting line gets further away. Every time you retreat, the cost of trying again goes up. Because now you don't just have to do the thing, you have to do the thing and prove to yourself that this time you won't run. And that is a debt that compounds. If we were to perform an honest examination of the moment you gave up, not the last time, not a dramatic one, just a regular Tuesday when you quietly stopped, we would find something unexpected. We would not find weakness. We would not find laziness. We would find a person standing at the edge of something real and choosing the familiar pain of retreat over the unfamiliar pain of becoming. Here is the truth you have been carrying. You do not give up because you don't care. You give up because you care so much that the possibility of failing at something that actually matters to you is more terrifying than not trying at all. This is the real architecture of despair. It is not emptiness. It is misdirected love. It is hope that has learned to wear the mask of indifference because indifference doesn't get hurt. You have not failed at life. You have been so afraid of what failure means about you that you developed a system to disqualify yourself before the world could do it. You became the judge so you never had to be the defendant. And you have been sentencing yourself to a smaller and smaller life ever since. 7. Resolving the subplot. The return. 3 months after the last time he stopped, the boy started again. Not because something changed in the world, not because he found motivation, or because someone gave him a speech. He started again because he was sitting alone one evening, and he caught himself planning, for the 4th time, something he had already planned 3 times before. And he noticed. He didn't judge it, he just noticed. He thought, I keep starting this in my head. That means I still want it. So he did one small thing. Not the whole thing, not even a meaningful portion of the thing. One sentence, one stroke of a pen, one small, embarrassing, incomplete move in the direction of the thing he kept not doing. And it was terrible. It wasn't inspired. It didn't feel like a breakthrough, but it was real. It existed in the world. It was evidence, small, fragile, undeniable evidence that he was capable of beginning. And the voice that said, "This is just what you do," got a little quieter. Not gone, but quieter. Here is what nobody teaches you about despair. It is not a signal that you are done. It is a signal that you are asking the wrong question. When you give up, you ask, why can't I just do this?
I will not stop until I get what I want.
No. The idea we have to destroy each other to gain is dumb and destructive.
Did you just call me dumb?
The question that actually moves something is, what was I afraid of right before I stopped? Because there is always a threat you turned away from so fast you registered it as boredom. Find that fear. Don't fight it, just name it. Because the moment you name it, it goes from a verdict to a feeling. And feelings can move, verdicts cannot. The opposite of giving up is not persistence. The opposite of giving up is return. Return is harder because it requires admitting you left. It requires picking up the thing you put down without making a story out of it. It requires the one thing the quitting voice cannot survive. Boring, unremarkable continuation. Every person who has built anything real stopped at some point. The difference is they were willing to return without ceremony. They went back, quietly, while still afraid. You know the thing you keep not finishing. It has been sitting in the back of your mind through this entire video.